Welcome to Discovery Watch with John Kaiser.
I'm Jim Goddard. Welcome back to the show, John.
Jim, glad to be here.
John, a couple of weeks ago, you talked about Northern Empire and its disappearing act at the Sprott Conference. Last week, Northern Empire announced that Coeur Mining would acquire it for about $117 million worth of stock. Were you surprised by that move?
Well, I was surprised that it was Coeur, though I probably shouldn't have been, because just over a year ago, when this whole company was engineered out of a bottom fish shell that I had on my list, Coeur was an advisor and did take stock, which ended up, purchased part of the financing, ended up with just under 10% after all the various financings. I had thought it would have been Anglo Gold, which has 100% of the Silicon project just to the north of that Sterling project that Northern Empire acquired from Imperial Metals. But it turns out that it's Coeur Mining, which is a operator of underground mines, high-grade mines, and it's a major rival of Hecla Mining, which several weeks ago closed its acquisition of Klondex Mines, which operates several mines in Nevada, high-grade mines. And that was a $550 million deal. That was part cash, part Hecla stock. So it was about 5 times bigger than this deal. And the Klondex shareholders, they also get, for each of their Klondex shares, 0.125 of something called Havilah Mining Corp, which will have all the Canadian assets. So that was a pretty big liquidity event that closed several weeks ago. This liquidity event, it's all paper. It's only $115 million or so, $1.50 price, and it isn't what you would call a really big score. Now, when I say this was an engineered company, what they did is last May, June, is they did a deal to acquire for $10 million US the Sterling project from Imperial Metals. And they did this in conjunction with, at the time it was 78 million shares at 25 cents to raise just under $20 million to pay for this acquisition. But then they did a 3-for-1 rollback as part of this. So they actually had a 75-cent cost base. There was no warrant attached. And then in December, they did another $15 million financing, a prospectus offering, which was free trading right away at 90 cents. So they had plenty of cash to carry on with exploration. And I would have thought that given all the effort put into this and the fact that Corvus Gold has been having good results reinvestigating the Mother Lode project, which sits nestled inside the northeastern corner of the Sterling project, I would have thought that they would hold out more. And in fact, at the Sprott conference, I talked to a broker who's familiar with this project, and he, mused about my speculation. Why would they pull their booth the day before the Sprott conference, a 4-day major event, and given that it was backed by the Sprott Global Group at one point, why would they pull their booth and just have nobody show up? And he didn't really have any explanation for that, but he was quite skeptical that they would cash out so soon. And yet here we are, 2 weeks later. It must have been a serious due diligence trip that took them, forced them to shut down. They must have known that there was a deal in the works. And so we have $120 million of harder value. Coeur trades on the New York Stock Exchange, so it'll be easy for the shareholders to, eventually convert that to cash. So we have a 1-year cash injection with a mere 100% profit for a story that, in my view, this type of story where you're going back into an old mining district in Nevada, a gold district, and taking a fresh look at it, I think that sort of story fits well with this whole back to America. Let's start exploring in America and finding new domestic resources. So I'm a bit disappointed it has disappeared this quickly. Coeur will have to do a deal with Corvus on the Mother Lode. Corvus was looking at the Mother Lode claim as something they could truck to their North Bullfrog project. But I suspect what will happen is Anglo Gold, if it has ambitions beyond the Silicon project, it may eventually do something with Corvus Gold. And since the Mother Lode claim fits better into the whole Sterling package, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some deal between Coeur and Corvus, which enables Coeur to acquire the Mother Lode claim, cashes up Corvus, and then Corvus can square off against Anglo Gold, or even push its own North Bullfrog project onwards. So it's a nice cash injection. Disappointing that John Robbins and his crew and Doug Hurst and them have cashed in their chips this quickly. But on the plus side, here's an extra, $100 million now floating around, looking for something else that might be an even more interesting story.
We'll have more with John Kaiser right after the break.
Vatic Ventures Corp. is a potash exploration company focused on the Korat Basin in Thailand, the world's largest undeveloped potash resource. Vatic's management has extensive potash exploration and development experience in Thailand. Vatic will have marketing advantage compared to Western producers. Drill program commences this spring. Vatic trades on the TSX Venture, symbol VCV, and on Frankfurt, symbol V8V2. Visit our website, vaticventures.com.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario, with grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program to test numerous targets located by recent groundwork is planned for early 2018. Please visit our website at rmroyalty.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with John Kaiser. John, is Renaissance Gold getting any mileage out of the Coeur bid for Northern Empire?
No, it can't really, because it'll end up getting $3 million cash or so at the end of the day when Anglo Gold eventually vests for 100%, and then it'll have a royalty, a 1% royalty that's uncapped, which will eventually be worth something. But the market, until there's a resource in place, the market doesn't really assign much value to royalties when the project's still at the early exploration stage. So it's hopefully a shot in the arm for Renaissance Gold and their generative work. They generated that project from scratch in that area as part of their initiative to look at the southern end of the Walker Lane, and they did attract a royalty deal from Callanan Royalty to fund that work, and of course Callanan Royalties has now been absorbed by Altius. But the focus for Renaissance Gold is in other projects, and the breakthrough news that just came out is that they have done a deal with Newmont on some claims that adjoin the Écru project, which itself is just to the north of Barrick's pipeline project. Now, this is unusual in that Newmont has given them a long-term lease for, in essence, a royalty on those claims. And this is unusual because Newmont has been the most difficult of all the majors out there in doing a deal on anything. They have these types of deals where, well, if you find something, we want to rush back and get almost all of it back for not too much more than you've spent on the project. So juniors have had a tough time getting good deals with Newmont. And Newmont, of course, had that huge investment they made, over $2 billion, buying out Frontier Gold and its Long Canyon project in the northeastern part of Nevada. And that turned out to be a 150,000 ounce project. It was really worth only $300 million or so dollars at the time, based on the PEA that Frontier had published. So they obviously had expectations of finding a lot more. So Newmont's there to, when they think they see something big emerging that has expansion potential, they will move. But they haven't really been very proactive in doing deals and in backing other juniors the way companies like Gold Corp have been. Now, Renaissance Gold expects to be drilling the Écru in the fourth quarter of this year. They need to do some more geophysics. The funding partner is S2 Resources, which is Mark Creasy's foray beyond Australia into Finland and into the United States. So we'll see if they have a Carlin-type discovery in that area. But Renaissance Gold has also announced that two of its other partners are returning to do more work on their projects. Another ASX-listed company is called Remelius Resources. They have decided to return to the Jupiter project and will be drilling more holes there. And Kinross Gold, which has a kind of a bad habit of drilling a few holes and then going away when it doesn't hit the bullseye right away. It is in fact returning to the Spruce East project, which is in northeastern Nevada in the vicinity of the Long Canyon project. So they will be going back and drilling on that. So Renaissance Gold will have 3 programs underway this year that could deliver a new discovery. These are all Carlin-type targets, though the Jupiter is more of a structurally controlled situation. But these are the types of programs that we want to see. Here they net 25 or 30% at the end of the day, which is still a pretty meaningful percentage to have in a project. So no real traction yet from the Coeur acquisition of Northern Empire. But then we don't even know that the Silicon project has a big discovery on it that's just unfolding. We have to look for some discovery holes on some of these other projects where they have a 25 to 30% stake when the partner vests for their majority interest.
We'll have more with John Kaiser right after this.
Cypress Development Corp's flagship lithium project is located just east of Albemarle's Silver Peak mine in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. A 12-hole exploration drill program for lithium-enriched claystone on Cypress's 100% controlled properties is now underway. Cypress Development Corp trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the Pink CYDVF, and on Frankfurt C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, Recycling Trade Publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with John Kaiser. John, Highway 50 provided an update for its Sullivan 2 hunt at Monroe. Do they have a discovery yet?
They do not have a discovery yet, but they seem to be getting closer than they have with past efforts. The Monroe project has had multiple visitations in the past, even by the Leask brothers in one of their earlier companies called Citation Resources. They've gotten smoke and that. And even though it's a relatively small property, it is in what they believe to be a very prospective window for the formation of another CDEX-style deposit like Sullivan deposit, which itself was a massive 150 million tons of zinc, lead, silver mineralization. In this case here, they have drilled a couple more 1,000-meter holes. They believe they are sitting on top of, or very close to a feeder system. The problem with these things is we can't find this lead-zinc style mineralization in this whole part of southeastern British Columbia where it's just structurally controlled. The key is to find where a feeder vented onto the ocean floor and was very long-lived and pumped a lot of the mineral-laden smoke into the water and had it gradually settle down, precipitate the metals in what's almost like a giant pancake that just keeps building and building. So they are not into one of these yet, but they think they are a lot closer than they have ever been. And they are earning 50%, the company's earning 50% from the principals of the company, John and Gordon Leask. And I think the company has to spend about $3 million before the principals of Highway 50 need to start coughing up some money. They're not there yet. They do need to raise more money. The balance sheet was not looking very good at the end of March. So the next stage will be get more money, go in there, drill some more of these holes, and vector in on hopefully the pile, the SEDEX pile, where you start getting the high-grade lead, zinc, silver style mineralization.
John, thanks a lot for the update.
You're welcome, Jim.
We've been talking with John Kaiser, his website, kaiserresearch.com. I'm Jim Godley.
Comments made on Discovery Watch are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at howstreet.com. Discovery Watch is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.